Hello Pisces, how you doing? This is the solar flare reading. That's the flare that came through this week, and how it's going to be affecting the energies. If you want to know how it's affecting the energies of the Earth, the chakra systems and stuff like that, you can go over to Cymatic TV and you'll be able to see energy update, which I did on the energy coming through. But primarily here on the Astroflower, it's going to be affecting air and fire within your sign. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the monthly readings and see where the energy is coming through. We're going to be doing this all through this month to see how it fits with the ever exploring and advancing story of a monthly reading, basically. So as I said, we're going to be looking at mainly air and fire. So let's just bring up your Astroflower. There it is there. You can see at the top here you've got this crossing point of air and fire. That's sitting right underneath petal 10. And petal 10 is about the here and now, how you engage in life, how you physically and spiritually, how it sort of plays out in a way. And this crossing point here is that driving force of that fire that you can see that comes from Aries, that runs all the way through you there at the top. You do have a lot of fire elsewhere in your flower. You have a lot of fire, Pisces. You're very passionate about life, and this is where the emotions can get really serious, in a good way, very good way with you, and in a bad way, like the yin and yang with everything. So and those fires at the base there, they're touching your karmic path, both on your material and your physical side. That's where you can get really passionate about what you're doing in this world, where you are in this world, who you're with, and etc. But the main instigator is going to be just under the surface, which is how we sort of play what we think is our karmic path on this planet, and also how we feed in the conversation that we're having within us and in connecting with everybody else. So let's just look at petals, at the overall energies, petals 8, 9 and 10 basically. It's all about the here and now really, more than anything else for you. On the relationship side, beautiful. In the here and now and in the sort of conversation that you're doing within yourself, you have the Two of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Couldn't really get better. I think this is a case of falling in love with yourself, and it may have made things very vibrant for you around you. A lot going on in your emotional sphere, within your spiritual, but also within your relationships as well. And so that's going to fuel that as well, and you're going to interact with that because you've got that lovely pure water all the way around you. It's going to interact with the world in a very emotional way, but it's a give and take emotion. It's not going to be hard and fast emotions. I would have thought it's really, really nice. And what comes out of it, you get the 6 of Wands and the 10 of the 9 of Swords, and this is taking, snatching victory out of the jaws of defeat in a way in regards to your relationships that are around you. Because on the overall energies here, you've got the Knight of Wands and the 10 of Cups. So this is where the overall energy is really trying to help you out. And we can see this from the influence from the universe. Because if you look down on petal 4, and this is the influence on the universe on your material path, where we do get that interaction between the fire and the air. That's the only other place that is happening. This is where you get on your karmic mission, nurturing your karmic mission and not getting distracted from it. And how the universe is helping you to create a new cycle that is a lot more secure for you. And that, I think, you should be applying your passions, because above there on petal 9, and this is where we come back into the crossing point, which is just below you, in petal 9 you have the Page of Swords and the King of Pentacles. Now this is beautiful because you have the Queen of Pentacles down by the bottom of the universe, and I think here is now it's bringing you in the understanding of that knowledge and understanding of that security and how you create that. And once you start doing that, that's when you learn a lot about your passions, basically, which is what the Page of Swords is all about, because that's that mental side, that air energy, that air energy that's sort of playing into that crossing point, which is just below petal 10 for you. And in the top of the dial, you get the King of Cups and the Devil card. And I think this is where your emotions find this stability, almost, you know, being very choosy in particular about the things you do, about what you put your passions in. This is the understanding that comes through of not being deviated from your path, which is quite difficult for you sometimes, Pisces, with the Devil card. So it's where your control over your emotions will allow your security to really reign for you, basically. And I think that's what's driving all of that together. It's bringing this happiness and this passion, this Ten of Cups and the Knight of Wands into the mix now. The overall energy around you, you're feeling this sort of buzz, as it were. That's what you should be feeling around you now. Obviously, if you don't engage in life, that can create anxiety. So it's like you're on the edge of a very long water slide, and at some point, once you go over the edge and you start sliding, you can't do anything about it. And I would enjoy the ride rather than be anxious about it. So yeah, I think this is what's coming out here, and it's the purification of the month, and it's starting off that process of noticing things around you. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 cards. We're going to pull 2 cards on the crossing point for your emotional, spiritual and relationship side, and then we're going to pull 2 cards for the financial and material side as well. Okay, yeah, thank you very much for being here. Really do appreciate it. You know, I hope you get the best out of these readings. Let's just see what's going on with the transitioning and the mixing between the Two of Cups, the Queen of Cups, with the Six of Wands and the Nine of Swords. You got the King of Wands and the Nine of Cups. I think here is you are becoming, I think with this understanding of alignment, this is where I think you're getting glimpses of it, and I think this is what the energy is trying to provide for you at the moment. You're getting glimpses of how you are at one with yourself and at free with your emotions. The moment you are in that sort of situation, that's when you start really stepping into your power. And once you do step into your power, you have a multitude of possibilities, and great possibilities, gifts that you can give and receive within your emotional side of life. With this giving and receiving, this is where you're going to stop all those woes and worries and come out of it very, very victorious, we might say. Okay? And I think that plays into it very beautiful. It allows those passions of the Knight of Wands to feed into that King of Wands, to being passionate about your life and happiness after difficulty. And that's where you're ultimately going with the Six of Wands from the Nine of Swords. Let's just see what's going on in your financial side. Whew. It's quite interesting. Oh, wow, it's all about the Knight of Wands and the King of Wands then. Here the Knight of Wands comes up and the Nine of Swords. And I think this is where there's a choice that you've made that we've seen earlier on here in the Two of Swords in your thing. And also that Five of Swords, which is on your karmic path, on your financial side, which you should be nurturing and realizing what is worth investing in. And I think this is a similar sort of thing that's happening on your relationship side and the overall outcome. What the energy is trying to do to you here is infuse your passion. Now, the Knight of Wands, which you've already got on the overall energy, and it's the overall energy is flowing through to here. And the Knight of Wands is securing the pathway. The Page of Wands is learning about securing the pathway through its passions. Now the Knight of Wands is actively doing things to secure that pathway for the King of Wands to exist and for the Queen of Wands to exist, to also come through in security. And this means getting rid of that Five of Swords. And I think this is where the energy from the sun and the energy that blows through the fire and the air is really, really helping you enormously, because it's tied into that sort of section down at the bottom. Let's just pull 1 card for that. You get the Knight of Pentacles. You've already got that on your past self, and you've got the Eight of Swords as well. I think it's time to get on. I think the universe is encouraging this. Time to move on to a new cycle. Let go of it, let go of the past, and free yourself up, basically. There you go, Pisces. I hope this helped you out to evolve your monthly reading even further. We will be Observing the Sun on Cymatic TV. If you want to go and see that, it will be linked around my head at some point. And we will come back to the monthly readings and see what sort of elements are affecting your readings at a given point during the month. Okay, in the meantime, thank you very much for being here, really do appreciate it. In the meantime, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.